All right, it's fine. It's fine. Hello. Welcome. What is? Oh, that's my cursor.
You said let's get started right as I took a forkful of carrot cake, and I had to really resist just like putting it in my mouth anyway, and just like say I was like, I probably shouldn't have my mouth full of cake in the opening 5 seconds.
You know, you get a little bit
That's too
of
soon.
time.
Yeah.
Before it actually cuts. All right, these are the same. We are trying to get more people, I think. Which we need more prestige to do, it sounded like.
Oh, yeah, we were just trying to get more prestige, weren't we?
Yes. Which, oh, well, we actually can't level up, right? Until
Hey,
we...
Goddess.
Hello. And hello, Octosco, from earlier.
Ah, that was before I remembered that I should open the Twitch chat.
Well, I've got
Where we're
timestamps now, so I can notice.
Yeah. When we're like chatting before we start, not ever does it occur to me that I could be doing any of the things that I need to do to get ready.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so we need to build a bigger polar dome for our polar bears.
Oh God.
Because we have but 2 of them.
Oh, but the problem is that we can't get any good staff.
Correct.
Until we level up.
Don't,
yeah. Okay.
and we can't level up until we complete this, presumably. So we need to kind of, let's see here. How big is a large polar dome?
Did we decide we were just gonna hire all the shit stuff?
I mean, we have hired most of them. Well, so this is the large polar dome. This has the 28 ice capacity. Air conditioning. I don't know if this goes up if we increase it, and like it's really not that much bigger.
The ice capacity goes up when you
attach the
air
conditioning. It has a different spot where they connect to it. We'll have to move it around that way, which is annoying. But I don't know.
They have to do that.
Need to move things around too much.
Okay.
Now, I do have the problem of right. This is gonna.
This is a very weirdly balanced part of the game.
Yeah, I can't assume this isn't really.
Well, it's never been like difficult before now.
Yeah, we've had occasional problems with like, but it's usually just been like, oh yeah, we just haven't gone and hired people, and we could just throw more people at the problem.
Yeah, we've never like run out of people to hire before.
Yeah. So we need to.
I'm having my traditional 10 to 11 p.m. cup of coffee.
Uh-huh. This is not great, probably, but this works.
Have I told you about the hiking trip I'm planning?
Hiking trip? I don't think so.
I'm going on a week-long trek this summer.
Trek?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
In the Scottish Highlands.
Wow.
It's going to be partially staying at campsites and partially wild camping.
Oh.
And one night I'm going to camp on a tiny little island in Loch Lomond. And only 12 people are allowed to stay on there per night, and there's no running water, so you have to fill your bottle up at the dock before you go over to the island.
Wow. That's intense.
It looks really cool. They've got like loads of deer and stuff on the island, so you do have to be careful about ticks because of the large deer population.
Ugh.
So I need
Ugh.
to, yeah, I just need to make sure that like I'm wearing long sleeves and that I've got my trousers tucked into my socks, and it'll be fine.
Ew.
But I'm gonna go swimming in Loch Lomond. It's gonna be good.
Why are you guys?
Uh-oh.
Hmm. You guys weren't also connected to this, were you? I guess maybe they were. Did I just unconnect them? Did someone see me do that?
I was too busy thinking about hiking.
Might have been. Hello. Omega-3 fatty acids.
No, Octasco, but the guidebook I have was very clear on the topic of midges, and the preparations that you need to take. there's like a whole section that's like, please make sure
Midges.
you have your fucking insect repellent. Like, make sure you've got long sleeves. Like, you need to cover up, and or you're gonna get eaten by midges, and you will be so
Ugh.
miserable.
Great. Alright, so this would solve our issues.
You said midges like you don't know what midges are. Do you know what midges are?
I thought so. I mean, yeah, I get that they're annoying bugs.
Yeah, they'll bite you. They're like, you know how British weather is like a shitter version, like just a more toned down and rubbish version of like actual weather. Midges are like the British mosquitoes.
Yeah, that's I guess what I thought of as like mosquitoes, which are awful.
Yeah.
So sure.
But they're not as bad.
They're not as bad as mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
They're like annoying, but
What are you complaining about?
there's like a notoriously high amount of them near Loch Lomond. Like, anytime you read anything about the West Highland Way, it's like, you've got to be ready for the midges. Apparently, they can't fly.
This is.
When
I don't know. This is the best seat in the house. I don't know why there's an X.
Yeah.
Like,
what was I gonna say? Oh, they can't fly when it's windy. So this guidebook was like, now it might seem like putting your tent up in the wind sucks, but have you considered that if you put your tent up when it's really windy, you don't have to do it while there's midges around?
yeah. That sounds good to me. Okay, yeah, I stuck this over here, and that seems to have. Well, these are separate now. They're not together, but it seems like they both work fine. So that seems preferable, frankly. Did I get rid of? There's that door there. And I can actually like put this down here. Keep moving these. Oh, that door needs to be. Oh, right. That's fine. Oops. I was trying to put it there. There we go.
I don't think I've ever been somewhere where it's dangerous to get bitten by an insect. Like, I think all the insects that are ambiently in my environment are fine.
I have not been in an area where it was a serious concern. I mean, there are like...
Unless you're like allergic to bee stings.
Well, yeah, there's shit like that. There's like brown recluses in lots of parts of the US, theoretically, but like... I think it's very rare to actually run into them. And you know, like, you kind of really gotta fuck up.
Ugh. I'm so arachnophobic, and I feel like it would be so much worse if I lived in a country where the spiders were actually dangerous.
Oh yeah, I hate have issues, but
I've told you about my strategy of naming spiders to make them less scary, right?
I don't remember this.
I give all the spiders names,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm like, oh, that's just Steve. That's
Uh-huh.
fine. That's not a big scary spider, that's Steve.
Uh-huh. I could repaint this
Oh,
more
Taskio,
so.
I don't think I could go to America. I think
Or Australia?
yeah, well, I also don't think I could go to America for unrelated reasons.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's like
I don't think
I wasn't
I
sure
could
if
go
this
to
is I
Australia.
couldn't go to Australia or I couldn't even go to America, let alone Australia. You
No,
know, just,
spiders are not
uh,
prohibitive to me going to America.
okay. Other
Um,
reasons though. Yeah.
but my housemate a while ago said that she's sorry I've got such bad arachnophobia that I live like an Australian because like I always check my shoes and slippers for insects before putting them on. Um I'm trying to get out of the habit of checking if my slippers have spiders in them every time I put them on. Because they never have once in my entire life had spiders in them.
Hmm.
So it seems unnecessary.
I probably. Okay. Right, so we need more air conditioning? Yeah. There it is.
I'm gonna stop looking at the chat until people are done talking about spiders.
Yeah, yeah, let's move on, I think. So I was like, I don't have it. I do not have like a phobia. I don't have that level of reaction, I think, but I don't enjoy it. And I will
Yeah, I used to hallucinate spiders quite
Oh my
regularly.
god. Oh, this is nightmarish. uh, I don't think about them. I just turn off, arachnophobia mode, or turn on arachnophobia mode in games, and I don't run
Mm.
into spiders because I don't go anywhere. They're not here, and generally, and I'm fine.
I several times a day think I saw a spider and then realize that I didn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it
What's the
happens like
problem? Yeah,
constantly.
God.
Like I'll just see like a shadow out of the corner of my eye and be like, "Oh god, that's a spider." Oh no, there's literally nothing there.
I
So
hate this.
yeah, I saw a like really bad photo of of spiders unexpectedly one time, and I had to go get in the bath, so that and be like mostly underwater, so that I was confident that there weren't any spiders.
So, our polar bears are,
Mm. I might be adopting 2 cats. It's very exciting.
yes, I know about this, but it's good to tell people.
Yes, I just want to
topic.
change
Yeah.
topic to talk about cats instead. How are the polar bears doing?
I think they're doing all right. Oh, this goes on the land, which is currently not formed, I guess.
Oh yeah, we gotta freeze it first,
Annoying.
I guess.
We gotta, yeah, freeze it more.
Oh, there is some land, isn't there?
Didn't appear to count. I'm not sure. Have you tried any of the modded content for this game? They're whole fan-made expansion packs. We have not. I do know that there is really like it is a strong modding scene that it's well supported. I just
Seems
haven't.
like the kind of game that people would get into modding.
Right. We've spent I have no idea how many hours on this game total. You can look up the full playlist on YouTube of each the original game and each expansion, but I love this game. To be clear, it's a great game. We keep saying, oh, we want another game from this developer that's the different like the zoo game or whatever. However, I also don't need more. I'm happy to play the expansions, play through the levels that they've done. We did one thing of like a freeform game right at the end of the first game, I think. Where we kind of played with all the tools, and I think that was especially because they put out the expansion, or it was like a mini DLC that was just like cosmetic stuff, so it didn't have a campaign. And so we played with that. But
I
I think
vaguely
that's
remember that.
basically the only time that I've played this game in Sandbox.
How long have we played this game for? Do you think?
I don't know. Like I said, the playlist. Let's see here.
As I said, I've watched you play a lot of this game. To be honest, I've never grasped what's happening once. Ooh, the dev has another game called Big Pharma.
Oops.
You're looking up how many videos are in the playlist?
Yeah, I was trying to look that up.
Shall I look it up so you can?
The original game is 13 episodes. Freshwater Frenzy was 8. You wanna know when?
When did we? What? When was the first one?
The first.
When did we first start playing Megaquarium?
Stream was May 15th, 2021.
Wow.
I mean, obviously there have been extended breaks when there's.
Yeah, there's been extended breaks, but we've been playing this game.
New content. But yeah, so the 13 and then 8 for Freshwater Frenzy, and then we're up to like 10 or 11 for this one.
But this one, the streams have been shorter.
That's true.
They've been 2 hours.
That is true.
And we've spent a larger proportion of it talking about communism.
Yeah, that's also true. Let's see, because I was like, did I? Oh yeah, I haven't.
Oh god, there's already so many guppy varieties. I spent several hours playing this game.
I think we're approaching
just trying to get
streams.
every guppy at one point. Approaching 40.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't have a full number.
We've spent so much time playing this game.
Correct. Yeah, those streams are at least 2 hours. Most of them are 3 hours. So.
Yeah. Also Star Wars. That's a good point, Octasco.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, also going back to what kind of cats. One of them is a tortoiseshell, and she's very shy. We emailed the rescue to be like, "Hello, we would like a cat, please." we're happy to have a shy cat because we've had shy cats before. And they went, yes, this cat is very shy and nobody likes her. Will you take this one?
Oh.
They didn't say that, but it was like, oh, she's really shy. Someone came to visit her and she just hid under the bed the whole time. And then obviously, if those people had decided to adopt her, they would not currently be asking if I wanted to adopt her. So clearly
Yeah.
she hid under the bed the whole time and they went, nah, fuck that. We want a better cat. Mangrove tank sounds fun. That sounds cool. I like plants. But yeah, so this shy cat that nobody wants. Oh, also I said that I wanted indoor cats because I don't want them to eat all the birds, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is a shy cat." So we went to visit her, and then also her brother was there. And they seemed to be very good friends. And I was like, "Can I have both of them so that I don't have to split them up because they love each other?" So now I'm waiting to hear if they're willing to put the other cat as an indoor only cat as well, because they're quite keen on him being able to go outdoors and eat things for some reason.
Weird. I wouldn't think rescues would be encouraging outdoor cats.
Most cat rescues in the UK want you to let the cat outdoors during the day unless there's a specific reason that that cat shouldn't go outside. Like if it's
'Cause
FIV
it's
positive,
bad?
then they'll. Well, like if it's blind, cat rescues would see that as an adequate reason to keep the cat inside. If it's FIV positive and could pass it on to other cats, then you don't let the cat outside.
But like,
Uh,
not reasons unrelated to like the cat's wellness.
yeah, no. The only acceptable reasons to keep a cat inside are like for the benefit of the cat. Like
That's wild.
yeah,
That's so weird.
yeah. Like the RSPCA wouldn't give me a cat because I said I wanted to keep it inside so it wouldn't eat birds.
What the fuck?
They were like, "No, we actually really want this cat to go outside. You can't have it."
What?
I'm like, "You're the RSPCA. The A stands for animals. Birds are animals."
Yeah, like I understand that like a lot of common people, like ordinary people, are just used to cats being outdoors. They're an outdoor pet just like dogs. I get that this is what people grew up with. It's what I grew up with, an outdoor cat. But if you're the actual like pet organization, how do you not like what?
Like all the major cat rescues in the UK, like all the nationwide ones and also all the little local ones, are like, you have to let this cat outdoors or we won't give you a cat. We would rather you go buy a cat from a breeder than let you adopt a cat and keep it indoors.
That's wild.
And
yeah,
I live
Cornelius, the RSPCA thing is less surprising to me, honestly, than just general like average cat rescues. I feel like but anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it's insane. They're so bad for wildlife. But yeah.
Yeah, that's
so I'm waiting to find out if this I'm waiting to find out if this rescue would rather like split up a brother and sister than keep a cat indoors.
God.
Because there is absolutely no point in me arguing that it's insane to be this insistent on letting the cat outdoors.
Okay.
Like, it is way too ingrained in British cat rescue culture.
That's so strange.
I'm not gonna lie to the cat rescue.
Are you gonna interact with them again? Are they gonna know?
I don't want to lie. I can find a cat. They'll give me a cat with me insisting that I'm gonna keep it indoors.
Yeah. I mean, you know. You can get audited. Well, apparently not, because they don't even do the in-person visits up front.
Oh yeah, did I explain about that since we started streaming?
I think that was
or only
before,
to you before the stream.
Yeah, I think that was before we started.
Yeah, so rather than coming and doing like a home check, which is sort of like the standard thing when you're adopting from a cat rescue, they got me to send a home check video where I just like did a walk around of the house and like explained where I would put things for the cats, and explained how I would stop them getting in and out of the house. And I was like, I will stop them getting in and out of the house by keeping the door closed. Like, it's not very difficult to keep a cat indoors. You just close the doors.
Yeah, this is not. Is this a problem people have of like?
People let their cats out by accident quite a lot, and I was like, you just
have heard of cats getting out, but I feel like this should not be a common issue. Like,
yeah, it's not. You just keep things closed.
Okay. Yeah, apparently you just the land here, the ice, does not count as land that you can put land decorations on, it seems like. So
Okay.
I thought maybe I just needed to let it go for like a day or something. Oh, I haven't actually let it go for a day, but so maybe it will still form up. But I mean, it says, you know, that it's got enough land, like the ice is counting. It just doesn't so.
Count for putting decorations on. Yeah, I guess because you could turn off the air conditioning and then the ice would melt, and then like, what would you do with that decoration once the ice melts?
It dies.
The
fish can die. Let the decorations die.
Maybe it would be annoying to program.
I can't imagine.
Oh, you know, I've been working on this project for the last couple of months, writing code for the diabetes thing.
Okay.
I decided on like Tuesday that I needed to refactor the whole thing to be object oriented.
Great. What
so
was
I
it
said
before?
like just fucking Python.
Oh no. Okay.
Just like scripts.
Okay.
But I realized I'd like backed my way in to like re-implementing classes in a worse way because I'm passing. Do you know? I'm passing around all these data frames, and like just like hard coding the column names that I know it's gonna have in like multiple places in the code, and I was like, this is insane. Like, this is obviously a stupid way to do this. I'll just add like a consts file so that the column names are just like in the constants file, so that I'm not typing out this string literal all over the place. And I did that, and then I like put them all into little groups to be like, okay, these column headers go with this data frame, these column headers go with this data frame. And I was like, I've just reinvented classes at this point.
Or struct at least, yeah.
So then I haven't done object-oriented programming in so long though. Like, it took me way longer than it should have to like work out how to organize the classes, and I'm still not really convinced by what I did because I haven't done any object-oriented programming in like nearly 10 years. But yeah, I've got really into like bad Python habits, and I hate it, and it makes it harder to write code that's longer than like a little script. because like this project is a little bit more of a like actual software project than most of the programming I do for work, because normally it's just like writing little data analysis scripts and stuff.
Sure.
But like this is a bit more complicated, and it actually makes sense to like use classes or something like. But I think Python's not really the right language for it, but it's the one I use all the time.
Yeah. This is
Plot thickens. Uh-oh.
So let's see here. If we do this.
That polar bear is gonna eat so much food.
Yeah, that's true. So it needs more plants.
Mm.
Good.
Perfect.
Then it does,
Wow,
oh
that's
my
such a planty plant.
God, it needs so much enrichment. Fuck. Oh, and we can't put any of these on, which is annoying as hell. Okay, I guess we get more rock tunnels.
Is there not any land that's actual land?
No, it has no actual land in it.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Three more.
Just throw a man in there.
Throw a bunch of fish in there. Like, sorry fish, but the polar bears are gonna have a great time chasing you. All requirements met.
Okay, oh my god, we can now reach the next rank. Well, okay, it doesn't update yet, but our thing is to reach the next rank. We're actually quite close, of course, because we have been...
Because we spent so long trying to get prestige and not realizing.
Share our supply of Atlantic halibut. A captive snow
they
petrel.
want you to. They want you to do some.
We would need to breed a
trading.
petrel.
Do we not have snow petrels at the moment?
That's what I was going to check. It says so. Yeah, we don't have any.
Where does it say if we have them or not?
I think when you hover over, see it says times.
Oh, it shows times 8. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I think we don't have any. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I guess let's breed some snow petrels. Oh, actually, I think we should hang on a minute and just like.
I think maybe we
see what our feeding situation's like before adding more animals.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Oh my god, we refreshed. I guess we just completed a quest.
New stuff!
Alright. Let's see if there's anybody... Oh, you're... okay. Yeah, you're fine. You're very... You're not gonna level fast, but that's okay. Oh.
Quinn? Hello.
Hello. Good. Great. I'm just gonna hire basically anyone that's not terrible.
Please, we need some good workers. Nobody wants to work these days, that's the problem.
Kind of slow, but are good at a lot of stuff. Guess we're probably okay. We hired like 5 people. 4 people.
Nice.
Okay.
Hello.
So let's see here. You don't need to be doing any of that. I guess we're gonna let you do that. You... I guess you're 3.
And pushing a man into a polar bear tank. This is a unique opportunity for you to work with polar bears and expand your skill set for future job opportunities. You're going to be gaining valuable experience managing large animals in high stress situations.
Come up, cookies.
Thank you. Okay, what was I? Oh, I was looking for none of these. These. Just wanted to make sure we have enough of these.
In our giant dictaphone dispenser room.
Oh, I guess we still had one, but I think we gave 2 people out. And then are these supplement manuals? Those are flashcards.
Yeah, I think so.
What do
Okay.
supplement manuals look like? Are those these?
Yeah, supplement manual dispenser,
Okay.
it said.
One of them is being open, so we need another one.
I feel like the ones that have already had stuff taken on could be moved back to a corner so they're not having to like work their way around this giant row of
Yeah,
uh,
that's fair.
supplement manuals to get to the that they pick up once ever.
You know,
Octopus v polar bear. I think probably the polar bear would win, unfortunately. I once applied for a job about understanding octopuses using machine learning. But I didn't get it, unfortunately. Which is probably for the best because I would have had to move to Japan. And I don't know if that would have worked out for me.
Yeah. That'd be quite a change, at least. God, how are people fucking hungry? There's shit right next to you.
Is it empty?
I don't know.
You can click on it and see.
I know, but
You're just not gonna.
I was gonna just throwing some money at the problem first. No, they're
No, it's
still
not even empty.
Yeah, so I don't know what the issue is.
That's just shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, oh, what is this? Oh, because they're fixing this. Okay, this gotta get fixed. Do we have the range to put a redundant? Yeah, that's too big.
God.
Huh? There we go.
This is just a nightmare to navigate around.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Rosa. What's going on? You wanna come up and sit? Or not? Okay. Hello.
Oh yeah, but the thing I was saying about cats before I got distracted about whether or not they're allowed to go outdoors is that these two are very cute. And hopefully we get to adopt both of them. One of them is a short-haired little tortoise shell, and the other one is like a really fluffy black and white tuxedo.
I think
And
everyone got
he was
fed.
like, "Yay!"
It helps when we were able to hire a bunch more staff.
Wow, imagine that. All of our staff are like, "Thank fuck."
Yeah.
Wow, they kept saying they were trying to hire more people, and they finally did it. Imagine if your staff started
this is a
quitting
fantasy.
because you were overworking them.
The boss saying, "Oh, we'd like to hire more people, but there's just not enough." You know, like people.
There's just no one suitable for the role out there.
This is not realistic. Do not take this as a demonstration of reality. Oh.
This game is just a capitalist fantasy.
Well, certainly partly.
Little games. It's not as bad as The Sims, which I've spent way too much time
Yeah, I mean,
playing.
I think there are games that are not, but they are pretty rare. Yeah, The Sims has got astonishingly. It is Uh, just staring into the naked heart of ideology. That's some real. Oh yes.
Yay!
Mega air conditioner.
Yes.
Auto feeder. Okay, I was gonna say this earlier because I remembered. I was like, "Where's the fucking auto feeders?"
Yeah. It
Mega
can't. It can
pump,
only do ones
mega
that don't
tank.
require skill, though.
That's fine.
But that will help. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got because some of these are like the things where it's like they're no skill, but there's just so fucking many of the fish. They take so much. The mega tank, the mega UV, that's great. The Nautilus, big octopus, sweet. Oh god, all this shit's cool. Also, I guess we get some. Oh, these are like the decorations we sold at the beginning. I didn't realize we didn't actually have the ability to build them, but didn't care. Whale skeleton's cool. Goblin
Goblin
shark.
shark.
Oh
Goblin
my
shark. Goblin
god.
shark. Goblin shark.
Okay, new abyssal. Great. Pick your next science project.
Auto feeder.
Yes, please, auto feeder. Ecology project.
Also, the thing having said about the number of times I've hired an ex-marine biologist as a janitor or gift shop employee is astounding.
Now that part, I think that's accurate.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. That's what you do with a marine biology degree, right? Is you get a job as a janitor at an aquarium.
I'm sure it's I'm sure it's a non-zero number. You know.
I tried to apply to volunteer at a zoo once, and you can't volunteer. The zoo that I wanted to apply to, you can't volunteer there unless you're like studying for a zoology degree. They're like, look, everyone fucking wants to volunteer at the zoo. The zoology
yeah, they can
students
afford
need
to
to
be
volunteer
picky.
at the zoo.
Yeah. I like the Nautilus, but they do have to be like basically by themselves, more or less.
I like the Mandarin Dragonet, but that's purely based on how it looks rather than tactical considerations.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think any of these are. I don't think there's any tactical considerations here. I think it's whatever.
Actually, I've changed my mind. I like the octopus the best.
Okay.
Look at that fucking guy.
Big octopus.
It gets so big.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got this. We also maybe need to try to breed. We can try to breed those birds.
Oh yeah, we can do that now.
Yeah. We don't currently. Well, unless they can go in this tank. How much room? No, they cannot. This tank is fully occupied by puffins. Okay. Well, so let's see here. What? So a bird tank, these guys, which, no, not those guys. These guys have to go in an abyssal
Goblins!
tank. They need to go into a large abyssal tank, 320. They
Ooh.
eat animals of. They're gonna eat everything. Yeah, so they really probably have to be in their own tank. It looks like.
Yeah.
Unless
they get to size 80.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, like how big is our big abyssal tank? It's 330, so it is big enough for them.
Okay.
But obviously they would eat all of this shit.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to just get a new whole tank of their own.
Yes, I think they have to have a giant tank for themselves.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Fine.
Yeah, that's
Can
fine.
we decorate our abyssal section?
Sure.
I feel like we haven't done much decorating.
We have not done much decorating. We've been focused on surviving this time. What calls out to you for the abyssal section?
I think it would be really funny for the abyssal section to have tropical beach paint.
All right.
Yes. Yes. Welcome to the ocean floor.
Oh, I have a question about mods. Since we got somebody who
Did you paint the tank as well?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
Is there a mod with paintable toilets?
Ooh.
This is one of my annoyances about this game is I can't style the toilets. I also don't like these deluxe toilets as much as the regular ones.
You can't line them up with the walls neatly, and it's very upsetting.
Yeah. Like
Have
I don't
you
know what
played
they're
much
even supposed to
Parkitect?
like they look so odd. Are there toilets that look like this? I don't.
They look like portaloos.
Yeah, but like with automatic doors. That's I think
They
the
look
thing.
like public toilets.
Like they've got like it looks like they have doors you step up to, and then they open automatically. Like it's very strange. I don't.
The only toilets I've seen with doors that look like that are like freestanding public toilets or like train
I don't think
toilets.
I've ever seen. Yeah, maybe a train toilet. Yeah, it's like I don't think I've ever seen toilets with doors like that. I mean, I don't see doors.
Do you have
like this is
public
like
toilets?
a double door. Like.
America seems like somewhere that might not have public toilets.
Do we have public toilets? I mean, not commonly. Where would a public toilet be?
Like, there's some public toilets in Manchester city centre. There's just like a little tiny freestanding building that's toilets
Probably not.
that you can go use.
They would be in like parks or something.
Yeah, like they're in parks a lot. They're at beaches a lot.
Yeah, I guess stuff that is actually maintained by the state would have them.
Yeah.
But I mean, any kind of like any like developed area, it's gonna be maintained by whoever.
Yeah,
owns
they're
the
definitely
land.
like dying out in town centres. They're normally in shopping centres now. So they're not like actually properly public toilets.
Right, yeah, like outside is like there's ones in like malls, but they're not they're not from the government. They're just by whoever owns the mall.
Yeah, the ones in Piccadilly Gardens are like actually publicly maintained by the council.
Let's look at, yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, have you played Parkitect?
No.
I think you would enjoy theming things in Parkitect.
Probably.
Maybe we should play Parkitect. It has multiplayer.
It has a multiplayer. I think you've mentioned this.
Yeah.
It's bizarre to me.
Yeah, because me and Matt have been playing multiplayer Parkitect. You just like look over to the other side of the map and there's a roller coaster over there. It's good. Because I'm not very good at building roller coasters. I did build a couple of roller coasters in Parkitect, and typically I do not enjoy building roller coasters in that kind of game. Like, I find it impossible to get them to line up again, and I normally just get very frustrated by it. But I did manage to build a couple of roller coasters in Parkitect. And then you can do like loads of theming and stuff. There's those like decorative things that you can place. You can like build whole buildings and stuff.
Nice. Okay, so let's. Oh, these are used now.
Put them in the used manual shelf corner.
Right.
Don't look too hard at the manuals on all the bottom shelves.
I don't know why it. This is another. I don't think this is something you could change with modding, but I don't understand why if you move a pump and everything it's connected to is still in range, it gets disconnected.
I think it must just be simpler to disconnect everything when you pick a pump up rather than have to like calculate if it needs to disconnect or not.
I mean, it's a grid system. It's not, and it's not doing any like pathfinding. It's a direct distance. Like it can't be difficult.
Yeah, but on click is just like an easier event to trigger than like on move every time.
It's just on your. I mean, you got a draw for this thing for the. Well, okay, they don't have a draw. They have a draw for the area. But you should have the thingy update and draw the. It seems. I mean, I don't know. Maybe their code base is just a complete mess. Who knows? Uh, I know game development is.
I feel like
any
I feel
kind
like
of production code is like, just always.
I feel like to me it just seems like it would be that's the kind of decision you make when you're like, I'm confident that I can do this without introducing a bug, but like not confident that I can do the very slightly more complicated thing without introducing a bug. It seems easier to avoid weird edge cases to just be like, no, it's all disconnected, join it back up.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's certainly easier. I just feel like it's not that much more complicated. It feels like it is pretty doable. But like I said, I understand. Any kind of production code is always a fucking mess, basically, compared to what it would be ideally. Always look at large sections of it and be like, why is it like this? Well, it was built over a long period of time, generally, and
A fun thing about writing code for academic projects is you very rarely have to maintain the same amount of code over any period of time.
Sure.
You just like write it once and then you're done.
Uh-huh. Solve the one problem and move on.
Yeah, people have previously been amazed by my ability to change code that I've already written to do something different. I'm like, oh yeah, it would be really easy to add that because like I wrote the code in a sensible way that makes it like relatively modifiable.
It's extensible.
And people are like, whoa.
That's very funny.
The project I'm working on at the moment, which is like a classic example of how academics write code, is like I've basically got like my implementation of this problem and someone else's original implementation of this problem, which I'm like re-implementing for a slightly different case. But like the code that the academic wrote is like 2 files that's like I think a couple of thousand lines long or something. Whereas like my version of it has got about 8 files. And all of the files, like overall I might have written more lines of code, but like each individual file is a lot shorter. I think it's probably about the same amount of code actually. But yeah, I feel like my implementation is like more modifiable.
Recently, like the past couple of times that we have streamed was I was in the middle of a project for work that I had done to myself. I had volunteered basically because there's a piece of like uh so like the application I work on has, I mean, it has a bunch of shit in it, you know, it's huge, but like the main thing is it's for regulatory filings like to the government. Um, is a list of forms, and then there's a whole bunch of shit you can do with those forms. And then, I mean, the main thing you do is you open them, and then, you know, they're like have a it's a form, and you know, it's just a form, and you fill it out, right? And the code that was just displaying the list of forms for a particular like filing was, I
Mm.
mean, it had already been really bad in the past, and I had at one point like split it up into multiple files and tried to reorganize it. And then it's like it has been a couple of years since then, and had gotten, you know, just so it's like, well, one of the files, you know, that I had made after splitting it up is now also gotten to be, you know, just insanely huge, and because it just keeps getting stuff piled on. And so I was like, because we were redoing the UI, like the visuals for it, and I was like, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna change the functionality, like the UI functionality stuff. I need to go in and like rework it and update it.
Mm.
Uh, and it took like, I was like, you know, it's gonna take a little bit, but it's gonna be, you know, like I know what I want to do, and it's you know, I know how it works. It's not that complicated, and then it's like it took over a month. And I
Oh,
just
God.
kept going back and being like, you know, like every day, you know, I've got my status meeting. I'm like, yeah, it's coming. I'm sorry, I'm
I'm,
working on
I'm,
it.
I'm still doing it.
And we like, because we had
Yeah,
promised
luckily.
like to get this done, like the visuals done, the UI update done by the end of June, uh, and so you know, I finally got it done like, yeah, like 2 weeks ago basically, and I gotta say, it's been so much easier to do updates. Like working through these
Yeah.
updates, it would have been such a fucking nightmare to do this with the old code. So I'm like, I'm glad I did it, but God, it was.
Yeah, that was part of the reason that I decided to refactor mine to be more object oriented, is because like the next thing that I'm adding would have been a real
Yeah.
pain without
No, what's up?
modifying the structure of the code. And I was like, it's worth me spending a day and
Yeah.
a half restructuring this um to make the next stuff easier. And also because like once I'm done with this project, I'm going to be passing it off to someone else who's got to like integrate my code into a dashboard and stuff. So I was like, I want to make sure the like um input and output parts of the code are as like divorced as possible from
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
actual like analysis part,
Right.
um because the analysis part needs to be able to be plugged into like different systems. Like they'll be loading the
Theo,
data
why
from
are
somewhere
you
else.
screaming? What's going on?
Penguin toy shelf.
We have a penguin toy shelf. We could put more around, I guess, down here in our new zone. Um, yeah, yeah. That was a big thing. Is like, so the because it was all the UI code that I was working with. The backend code is fine, but it's all the UI, and it's all in JavaScript, and like it is not in a, because of the way that because this project is old and has not been built on modern tech stack, which is fine. That's what I'm used to working with anyway. But the JavaScript is really rough in that, because it's literally JavaScript and jQuery and Bootstrap, and it's like it doesn't have anything, you know, on top of it. And so yeah, it was like it's just event handlers and bare code that is doing incredibly complicated
Mm,
shit. And so that's when I ripped it out and was like, JavaScript does. I mean, it doesn't have classes, it doesn't have object orient, you know, like it doesn't have all this shit,
yeah,
but it sort of does. Like it has
yeah.
a thing you can call, like, and it'll just like sort of handle it in the
You can
background.
you can put some structure in there
Yeah, yeah. So it
if you
has,
really work at it.
yeah, like it's bad, and it would be better if we had an actual framework that was built for this stuff. But in the absence
Mm.
of that, it's like I have just built an actual, and especially because like again because our back end is in C sharp, it's object oriented, it's all that. So it's like I
Mm.
basically rewrote it to work the same way as the code we are used to working with. Uh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and is like, okay, now we can manage these things in the same way, and separated the data and the UI fully, which was
Mm.
a big thing as well. Where the fuck are? There we go.
Yeah, I have to resist spending too much time like engineering this code because it is it's only a 4-month long project,
Uh-huh.
and like I'm finishing at the end of July. So I need the code is not the point of what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, um, but it's fun, like engineering the code.
hmm Yeah. I mean, I'm probably talked about this before if we've talked about programming, but it's like I am one of those people who is like happy to engineer. Like basically it's like there's the danger of like how much abstraction do you need, how much like redundant,
Mm,
like okay, well you could build it to do all of these things, but like you don't
yeah,
need it to do that, you just need it to do one thing, so don't. And I do have to like pull myself back sometimes. This was an instance that like this project where I was just like I just want to be done. It was like
yeah.
I have found my limit on how much I want to deal with this shit, and mostly it has to do with JavaScript. Being I hate working in JavaScript, but
Mm,
uh,
yeah, I don't like Python very much. It's fine for like little bits of scripting, but for anything that's like a bit
is
bigger and more
Python?
complicated,
Because I never
like
work with
the
Python. I know it's got the thing about white space, right? Is
yeah, the
syntactical,
white space
which is
thing is fine. I don't mind the white space thing at all now. I'm used to it because like the white space rules that Python enforces are basically the exact same ones I would be
yeah.
using
It seems
anyway.
like it's a thing that frightens me at a like sort of the idea of it, but I think in practice it would probably be fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, in practice the white spacing is fine, and it does guarantee that you're never gonna read someone's Python code with insane indentations.
yes, that's
Because
true.
because
Uh,
it won't run. But like it does take a little bit of getting used to of like not wrapping everything in curly braces. But
yeah.
the type system in Python is horrible.
That's what I was like trying to remember because I don't work with Python. Is Python typed?
It's duck typing is
Duck
what they call it.
typing. What the fuck does that mean?
So if it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. So you just
What?
like
What? So
you just like it
is that
it
meaning like
doesn't
it's like an interface? Like as long as it implements certain things, then it.
no, it doesn't have that level. It's more like JavaScript. Like you can like you don't ever say what class you think something is going to be. You just are
Oh,
supposed to know that
yes.
like
Okay, yeah.
oh
Because
I've said I know that this parameter is going to be a string. It's not enforced anywhere in the code, and nothing about the code says that this parameter is going to be a string. But I know it's going to be a string, so I can print it
okay,
or
yes,
whatever.
this is the thing that I hate about JavaScript the most.
Yeah, it's
I cannot
horrid. It's
stand
awful.
working in an
It's
untyped
really
language.
bad. And
It,
like academics writing Python code who learned to code by writing Python code,
yeah,
like
yeah,
do
yeah.
absolutely
I
insane
have
things with
run
it,
into
and
this. Yeah.
it makes academic code like that's one of the main
Oh,
reasons academic code is so horrible to read
yeah,
is like
yeah,
Python's type system explicitly encourages you to do
yeah.
like horrific things.
Does it
um
okay to because I assume that internally it does have a type of like it knows what the object is, right? Like if it's a string or a number, that
it
kind of
knows
thing.
at runtime.
Right, right. Yeah, that's what I mean. And
Yeah,
that you can get that type.
yeah, you can get
Does
the
it
type
have
of
an actual
of
like Because in JavaScript, like I've seen, because I've run into this a lot, and I'm always like, and sometimes I have to like go and remind myself of like, okay, well, if I want to check if this is, a string or an object or something in JavaScript, I'm like, how do I do this again? I look it up and it's like, oh, and you find all this, and it's like, well, so you do the type of on the thing, and it gives you back a
Mhm.
string, and you have to, and it's like type of equals like quote object or something like
It's
it's a
not
and I'm
quite
just
that
like,
bad in
are you?
Python.
How is this how how is this the base way to do this in the language? Like how does
I'm
anyone stand for
pretty I'm
this?
I'm
What
pretty
the fuck are
sure
we doing?
in Python
Oh,
you like check if it's an object. You check if it's a certain class by like referencing that class, not by like putting a string that's the name of that class. Um, and there's like built in like is this type of
sure.
thing
Yeah,
methods, but some of
normal
those aren't checking
things.
the type of the object. They're checking if if it has
Ah,
certain
yeah.
methods available.
Right.
They're not checking if it implements a specific interface. They're like checking if it has
Yeah,
certain
yes.
like
This is
method, like, oh,
Because
can I
again, this
convert
is
this
like how
into a
JavaScript
number?
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
And like
JavaScript has like
different ways of checking if something is a certain type of object will give you different answers
that's a
in certain
nightmare.
circumstances.
That's
Like I was trying to check if something was a nan, and there's like 4 different ways that you can check if something is a nan, and one of them gave me true and the other 3 gave me false.
great. Yeah.
So I was like, I know that I have some nan values in this
Have you seen
set. I
the
need to find the
like
correct Python way of finding this type of nan value.
have you seen like the JavaScript equality table?
Python has something. I think I'm assuming that JavaScript is like a worse version of
There's
Python.
literally like a table that is like 10 things, but in 10 then the same 10 things, and it's like, okay, how does the when you do these particular things, what are the results you get on like the different equality methods? Because there are so many different ways, and so, like, and it's, I
Yeah,
mean, a lot
people
of
run
them are
into that problem with
very,
strings a lot in Python
oh yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
like I think like people are just like, oh, I use is equal, but that's checking if they're the same object. So
Hmm.
you need to, a lot of the time in Python you can use is equal, but like for
Yeah,
strings you can't because strings are a class and you.
right. Yeah, the object reference is different. Yeah.
But like people don't understand objects
I
if they
get
only write Python code, so they
right.
get really fucking confused by it.
Yes.
What are we doing? We're building a tank for birds?
We're building a tank. I'm building a tank for the goblin sharks at the moment. We do need to
Oh,
also
okay.
build a tank for the birds. Um. Okay, so the goblin sharks need. Wait, I just had a realization.
They need the large abyssal tank. What?
Okay, okay, it just doesn't show up in here. I was like, wait, it doesn't say that it's rounded.
Yeah, it's rounded.
I was like, but we can't have an abyssal tank that's that big other than this one, so it better be fucking. I was like,
It has to be
is there
round.
another tank we missed that we had to research first? Like, no. Okay. And it
Yeah, I
does
think
need
that's
to
got
be
that's got me
chill.
before.
Um, yeah, JavaScript
I need to learn.
has like, because one, it has the 2 different equality operators. It has equals equals and equals
Mm,
equals equals, which give you different things.
mm.
Although they're
I think
mostly
Python has more than 2. No, no, I don't think it does. I take that back. I'm not sure.
And then yeah, like normally if you just put in a string, it will treat the string as a basically a the value, and it will do value
Hmm.
comparisons. But if you do, for example, new string like an object construction, then you get a string wrapped in an object. So then if you do comparisons, you get a uh, you get the object reference. Yeah,
Oh
in JavaScript,
no.
the flat for equals equals quote for will give you equal, but then equals 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 return false. Those are like the differences. And there's a bunch of other differences in terms of like undefined versus null are different things, which is
Oh, so this isn't the same thing at all, but the data that I'm working with at the moment is data from a user device from 2 or 3 with the same kind of device from like 2 or 3 specific companies. And like one of those companies changes the formatting of the dates and numbers in the file based on the user's settings. And it's a CSV file, and there's like absolutely no consistency between different files. Like sometimes the month and the day are the other way around. Sometimes the like month, day, and year are separated by dashes, and sometimes they're separated by slashes. If like depending on the user's settings, decimals either have a decimal point or a comma. And like the headers in the CSV file are based on the user's local language. So like you have to know the user's the names of the headers for the columns in every language that you want to process the information in. And like you basically have to know the user's exact combination of settings before you can load their data. And I had to write so much code just to deal with these like
that's a
a bunch of different
nightmare.
things. It's not a user-facing file. There's no reason to format the dates differently based on the user settings. Like, pick a standard and stick to it. Like, no one
But
is
then the
reading this thousands of line long
UGC and
CSV file
yeah,
manually.
like, yeah, God, yeah. Yes, like Tosca, that is the fact. It, I am. It drives me. I am truly flabbergasted that that was ever put into a language, let alone one that is like one of the most common languages in the world. I cannot believe that
What
people
does that
stand
mean? Is
for
that how
it.
you check if something's null?
No, null is different. That is how you check if it's
Why
been
would...
declared.
What?
Yeah. Uh, a value that has not been initialized is null, but a value that has been, like, the variable hasn't even been declared is undefined.
Would you have a variable that hasn't been declared? I hate
Because you
that that's
can,
something you'd ever need to check for.
yes, well, because, like, for example, objects in JavaScript are just dictionaries, and you can access their properties just by using a string as the key, because they're and so you yeah, you could also just do the like if and then put the thing in, and then basically null will return false or undefined will return false. And zero will return false though. So if it's a number, you got to be careful. You can't use that.
I think JavaScript might be worse than Python.
Oh yeah, I think probably yes. It's such a fucking lunatic language.
I'm supposed to be learning R soon, which is gonna
R.
be fun.
Oh.
Yeah. The syntax for R is kind of wild, I think. I've never used it, but all the stats people use it. And I'm supposed to be teaching R
Oh, that's right.
to
I was gonna let the
researchers in
Friday
January.
pass
So
before
I
you
need
said.
to...
Okay. So let me, I guess, wall this off for a second. I just want to wait until the morning.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What? You went back and got Okay. I don't understand, buddy, but it's fine.
Like, kind of mad, like, what a small proportion of being a computer science academic is writing code. To the extent that, like, having spent a couple years working in industry writing code full time, is like an insane amount of coding experience compared to like most people doing computer science as an academic thing.
That is, yeah, weird.
I've like barely written any code since I started my PhD.
Okay, right, we need to put their rocks in. Oh, they needed 12. Oh, it was 6. I thought it was 4. Whoops.
Bad reading.
Yep. I'll just put more of this in, to be honest. Okay, so
Observe
they
the
need
goblins.
razor clam supplements. How much razor clam do they need? 76. Okay. Technically, everyone who's doing clipboards should have a dictaphone, but
Put a couple there just in case.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't hurt anything to have it there. Okay, so that's open, and then if we kind of make sure that these guys are good, we can put the birds in. I'm thinking about basically making a loop around this way.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So I'll move this tank a bit. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's lots of different approaches to programming, and I mean, there is stuff, you know, because like I'm used to C# and the kind of family of all that, which is obviously heavily object oriented. There's definitely lots of other, you know, like functional stuff is really interesting. That's, you know, kind of taken off in recent years, although through maybe some, I mean, since a big part of that is React, which is a kind of a mess.
I've never
of its
used
own.
React.
The JavaScript, you know, framework. Yeah. So it's building on sand. But yeah, I do think that like I understand why stuff like JavaScript or Python is like trying to be easier for people to come in and write code without really understanding how it works. And I guess it's like you can't say
it's
that
okay up to a point.
Exist, but it's like, you know, it is. Everybody's got the horror stories about like people using Excel spreadsheets to write entire applications in them because that's how they know how to do it, and they've just kind of, and it's like evolved over time, right? And it's like, what if
Python's just the next step up from that?
Well, yeah, and JavaScript is like, what if the vast majority of the internet relied on functionally that to work? It's like, we should not have allowed this to happen. Like, maybe people doing this stuff need to actually like understand what they're doing, because to have a modicum of understanding of it, I think, is easier in a stricter language than it is. It's like, I have trouble following what is going on in JavaScript with the various like ways that it processes this stuff and what is happening at any given point with certain like with objects and stuff, which I don't have in C sharp. And it's like,
Yeah, I very frequently get lost reading Python code in a way that I wouldn't reading C sharp code, because there's just like inherently more information about the code that you're reading
yes, right.
built in.
It obviously doesn't help
Like,
with,
it's easier to follow because I know what class
yeah,
something is.
yeah. It obviously also doesn't help that, like, production JavaScript, on the internet, if you look up any JavaScript, it's going to be minified, which means it's going to be complete gibberish.
Mm.
Which, I mean, I guess that's, it's like, well, you can't just open up an exe because it's compiled, so I guess it's, similar, but it is frustrating when it's like, there it is. What is it doing? I don't know. Like, I can't follow. You
Who the
can't.
fuck knows?
It's like, because it's frustrating because it's like, it feels like you theoretically could disentangle it, but obviously it would be way too much effort to ever try to do it with anything.
Yeah.
Whereas with a compiled file, I'm just like, well, you can't. I mean, technically you can decompile, but like, again,
Yeah.
it's like I can't open it
Just
up and
learn
look
to
at it
read
immediately.
raw assembly code.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I do remember reading Ron Gilbert's blog many years ago, like 15 years ago or something. Is the guy who made it was the director on like Monkey Island 1 and Maniac Mansion. So way back. And he was like, I know people have all these new languages and stuff, but I think people should just learn assembly. Like, there's advantage to have to do it. I'm like, I'm sure there is, buddy, but I don't have any desire to ever do that. So maybe I'm just doing the same thing, I guess. But
during my undergrad degree, I had one programming lecturer who would complain that we didn't use punch cards anymore, because when you used punch cards, you had to really think about the code.
Yeah.
You got to run it like once a week. So you had to make sure it was going to work before running your code. Whereas nowadays, you can just try and see if it compiles, and you don't even have to like work out if your code is going to compile manually before trying anymore.
Where are the Pacific viperfish?
He was the lecturer who was teaching us C.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, these modern programming languages like C. You don't know how soft you are.
Oh, there's the Pacific viperfish. Okay, they're fine now.
I was telling some of the undergraduates in one of the classes I was a TA on that when I did my undergraduate degree, we used to have to print out our code, staple it together, and put it in a box. We had to like post it into a special little code post box for submitting assignments, and they would just physically remove it at the time that the deadline was. And if you didn't get it in the post box in time, then you missed the deadline and you got 0 marks.
Why are people getting... It looks like everyone's getting fed, but we have... Okay, no, they didn't get finished. Okay, so...
More stuff. More stuff.
People.
Is there anyone also that we need to promote to more difficult tasks?
That's a good question. Yeah, like who was...
We had to print out our code double-sided, so there was space for whoever was marking it to write notes.
There is, I mean, this is not what the guy was complaining about, but there is something to be said for the way that the ease of like, sort of, you just run it immediately, see if it even compiles, if it is compiling, or if it runs, whatever. Like, the way that, I mean, like, that this has led to the Agile methodology, and, like, the way that the Agile methodology works in a business environment is, there's a lot of stuff to be criticized there. The old, was Facebook right? Their old company motto was "Move fast and break things." Um,
That sounds like Facebook, yeah.
uh, and it was like, like this whole
What if I
idea
move
of
carefully and do
like,
things correctly?
right, like we don't, like the waterfall method was like the engineering methods of like we need to plan and be sure this is going to work before we do it because our resources are limited and we have to, be confident that this is what we want to do versus just like, well, let's just fucking do shit and see what works. And it's like that's
What if I
great
decide I
in a
want a
lot
new
of
feature halfway through?
scenarios. Like there's a lot of scenarios where that is really great and really powerful. It's not like that's not, always a bad thing. But yeah, it's like, I mean, obviously because, the pinnacle of this is fucking Tesla applying this to making cars. And it's
Yeah,
like, this is literally killing people. Like you
yeah,
literally, it's like, oh, we needed to put a patch out in the middle of the day, and it's like stopped your car. And also, I mean, obviously the fact that the cars are just buggy as hell, and just like
yeah.
it's
The door handles on Teslas are terrifying.
yeah, and it's like this is the thing about like why it is not. I think I've said this on stream before, but it's like my job title is software engineer, and it's like I'm not a software engineer. I do not follow engineering principles. I don't have an engineering
Yeah,
degree. I have no like that is false. That is and it is dangerous
my
to claim that as like that like
yeah.
engineering
We
is a
just
specific
don't
thing.
have the same standards.
Yeah, because like you
My
could
my
do
undergraduate
that.
my undergraduate degree is technically an engineering degree. I have a BEng, and my undergraduate degree is certified by I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the British Computer Science Engineering Society or something. Which is really funny because like I'm not an engineer.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'll claim to be one as a joke because I think it's funny that my degree is referred to, is like an engineering degree. Like I have a bachelor's of engineering. It's like you didn't teach me engineering.
yeah. Because you could do software development with engineering principles. That is the way, and
Mm,
that's like the way it used to be done in the past. It's just basically never done that way anymore, and nobody that's doing it is taught engineering. Like
mm.
there is just a, it's just like it's just a methodology. It's just not used, and yeah, there are places where that should be. Like there are, when
Sometimes you should be engineering your software.
yeah, like when I deploy updates, and I mean obviously we still have a lot more. Sometimes it seems like we have a lot better QA than some of these big companies do. But if we deploy an update, the worst thing that happens is like, and it breaks something. The worst thing that happens is somebody can't get their government filing done on time, which they can file an
Mm,
extension for anyway. And it's not, it's just, it's really not very meaningful. But
yeah.
once you're like, well, if this software messes up, people die,
Mm,
like maybe that should have, yeah, higher standards.
yeah.
But obviously this is just like the business
In
interests,
the
capital pressures to get
in the
away with as
UK,
little as
if
possible.
you are writing medical software, it has I think it I don't remember all the exact rules off the top of my head, but like it generally has to be certified like as a medical device. Um to
That
like the
makes
standards
sense.
that
Yeah.
a medical device would be certified to. And like if you want to update it or change it, you have to get it recertified as like a new version. And people are like, "Oh, but what about machine learning?" And like if you build a model and you want to be able to update it, and I'm like, "Yeah, get it recertified."
Yeah.
Have you seen how bad we are at machine learning?
Yeah. And I mean, like, presumably, I mean, like, obviously, there's large regulatory regimes around automobiles, right? Even in the U.S. still. Uh,
To build these
presumably,
cars with
yeah,
insane door handles that you
yeah.
can't
Like,
get out of when they catch fire.
I'm sure that Tesla is genuinely just like breaking the law in a million ways, right? Like, I'm sure it is impossible that even with the absolutely deteriorated regulatory standards in the U.S. I'm sure they are. And it's just no one's, there's just no action.
Stopping them.
Yeah, no one's gonna stop them. Because it's not even on the level of like, well, like self-driving cars is a an area that's too new and there hasn't been like it's like their door handles don't fucking work sometimes. Like they trap people in the cars that are gonna explode. Like
you built cars that explode way more often than most cars, and you can't get out of them.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck are you doing?
Basic like.
I like had a conversation with my mum where I was like, please don't get in a Tesla.
Yeah.
Because one of her friends has a Tesla, and she was like, she now like will try and avoid. I think she got a ride in her friend's Tesla and was like, yeah, I couldn't find the door handles, and I was like, yeah, please don't go in the Tesla.
Refuse to get in one. It's terrifying.
I got a taxi once and it showed up and it was a Tesla, and I was like, shit. Because it just hadn't occurred to me that a taxi might show up and be a Tesla. Giant phantom jelly. It's quite frankly enormous. The next quest is to have all of the abyssal species we've encountered so far in the aquarium and get to rank 13. Okay, well we've got almost all the abyssal species so far already. Yeah. We've only got to get 2 more. But yeah, after I got in that Tesla because I kind of like didn't have time to think about it. But then afterwards I was like, I think if a taxi shows up in future and it's a Tesla, I'm just gonna have to be like, sorry, I'm not getting in a Tesla.
Yeah. Okay, who leveled up? That was
someone leveled up.
You.
Who could it be?
Yeah, let's give you that. Yeah, Tosco, the closest I've been to that is I did contract work quite a number of years ago now at an aluminum factory, and it was pretty much like the actual stuff that I worked on was just reporting stuff where they were like they had data that they had like raw data basically that they had collated into databases, and then they wanted a application to just view the data, like compile it into human readable UIs. But there was a point where they were like, hey, like there's, you've been doing this good stuff, like, there's some of this, like they wanted some other stuff that was more like, I think like UI stuff directly for the machines. And I was like, I do not want to be working on anything like that. Like, I have no idea how this works.
Don't make me.
And I'm just a contractor. Like I think you have people that are full, like actual employees that do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you should go ahead and get your employees to do that one for me. Thank you very much. The thing I'm working on at the moment is like analyzing people's diabetes data and presenting it to them in a way to help them manage their blood sugar more effectively. And I'm like, it's so scary that people are gonna be making decisions about their like eating and insulin dosing based on software that I have written. Like it's gonna need to go through like clinical trials and stuff before it's just like available to people. But like this is like the first step for software that people are going to be using to like manage their diabetes, and I'm like, oh, that's really scary.
Okay. So we've got to build a tank for these birds, and then we've got to put the Pacific walrus, which you can probably put the Pacific walrus in the tank with the birds.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say with the polar bears.
I
What does it eat? Oh, it only eats starfish and clams. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, are they big enough to not? They're not big enough to get
Well, how big do polar bears eat?
basically everything. Polar bear 1, 9 to 81.
They're bigger than polar bears can eat.
I mean, once they're fully
The polar
grown,
bears.
yes, if they got fully grown, we could stick them in the same tank. What's this? I missed its last feeding.
Oh, I think maybe we need more stuff.
I'm trying. I don't know.
We've nearly got automatic feeders as well.
That's true. That's gonna help a lot. We could probably go through and like reassign or like reevaluate like the skill, like what people are allowed to do at that point.
Yeah.
Because we can basically put automatic feeders on all the no skill requirement feeding.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need a lot more repair people probably because they break down, right?
That's true.
But,
we should
fine.
we should definitely hire some more repair people, because otherwise it's gonna the whole thing's gonna fall apart.
Yes, it'd be bad if they start breaking. Do you want to start wrapping up, or I don't know how long you want to go.
Let's. Do you reckon we can get the bird tank in real quick, or I think maybe we need.
That's because I was gonna
be a big project.
This, so that we can start building the kind of loop around, and then I want to put the birds like probably over here. I know you can't see my cursor, but yeah, that's why I was like, I kind of want to do some. I mean, it's just gonna be moving this tank like back, I think, and then I don't know where. I guess the birds can probably just go right here for right now until we.
Yeah, that seems fine.
More stuff in, but it's still gonna be a little bit of construction. So
yeah,
that's why I was wondering, and it'll be, because this is gonna come soon, and that's gonna obviously we're gonna want time for that to figure out what to do with that. The automatic feeders. So I realized again, I was like, shit, you can't see my cursor. What are the like 2 abyssal species we don't have in the aquarium?
Are they in our emails?
Feather star.
Antarctic feather star.
And coral.
And
okay, so
zigzag coral. Okay.
Which it says remembers abyssal corals. I thought we have some of them, but I guess there's just a number of them.
Yeah. There might be somewhere where we can just put that.
Oh, this is
in.
starfish, right? Yeah, we'll have to find. I think this one couldn't go in a certain place, but hopefully you can. I mean, you can probably go in with the sharks.
Oh yeah, we can check the goblin sharks.
And the feather star, we'll have to figure out where something that won't starfish or nibbles, and that can have rocks, because I think we have some things where they can't have rocks. Oh, this I guess is tolerates.
Wait, what does it say? Tolerates abyssal. It doesn't need to live in an abyssal tank. Oh, okay, so we could just put it somewhere else.
Yeah, we just had to find somewhere a cold, super chill tank that can take it where nothing's gonna eat it. So yeah, we could probably find.
I'm gonna eat it.
I don't think it sounds good.
I'm gonna deep fry it.
Ooh, deep fried starfish.
Deep fried deep sea starfish.
Yeah. Walruses and birds and starfish.
Rather than oh my, it should be deep fry.
All right. Great.
Cool. Every week I'm like, okay, this week I'm not gonna chat bullshit all the time when we're gonna concentrate on the game for a little bit.
I think we made good progress on this stream. We did a lot. Yeah.
I feel like we didn't fucking do anything.
We got our second polar bear and completed that
Uh-huh.
quest, and then we put the
Oh
goblin
yeah.
sharks in, and we kind of we decorated this area a little bit, so we got a new tank. We hired a bunch of staff.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, kind of moved some stuff around. We're making progress, and this is gonna be the end. So this thing, I don't know if you saw
yeah.
this, the giant phantom jelly. It's the whale shark at the
Yeah, yeah,
abyss.
yeah. I'm excited about the giant phantom jelly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. We didn't talk about communism or Star Wars. We talked about software development. Uh,
You're refusing to even read out the Glasgow said software
I know.
engineering.
It's just like most of the
Your
time we weren't
software
talking about engineering.
development.
We talked a little bit about engineering and mostly about software development. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us. So 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
I assume so. I need to.
You don't know your schedule. That's fair.
No, I haven't looked at my diary for what's happening in 2 weeks. I assume I'm free.
All right. So we assume we'll be back in 2 weeks, and I know this is a dangerous thing to say, but
We're not gonna finish it next week.
uh,
Come on.
we got this objective, and then it sounds like one more. Like
We're gonna spend half an hour actually playing the game and 1.5 hours talking about Star Wars.
uh, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll find out. Tune in to see what happens.
Tune in to find out how long we'll spend playing the game.
Yes, exactly. Follow the channel for notifications, and yeah, yeah, you know how it goes. I need to go and get actually the recent VODs. Well, not that recent, but I haven't put up VODs for a while, so I need to go do that too. But they'll be on the YouTube. Thank you. Have a good night, I guess.